If you are this close to moving into a new home in Florida, whether it's new construction or resale, I want to share today with you my ultimate checklist of 18 things you may want to consider to add to your home, whether it's now or even over time, so stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Catherine Newman, a local real estate agent in the Manatee and Sarasota County markets, and specifically in my hometown of Parrish, Florida. If you've never been on this YouTube channel, welcome. I'm so glad you checked in, and I'd love for you to subscribe and like this video. If you subscribe to this channel, you're always going to get updates on the local real estate markets here, and I can keep you up to date on all the things going on and helpful tips like I'm going to share with you today, things to think about when you're buying a new home. So let's jump in. So moving in a new home, well, that can be pretty daunting, whether it's new construction or resale. You want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row and you remember certain things that you need to get done once you've moved in. You want to make sure all of your belongings fit. You want to make sure everything arrives without being damaged. You want to make sure your utilities are hooked up, your Wi-Fi is connected. There's so much to think about. So over the years, I've worked with my buyers to come up with a checklist that gives them things to think about, whether they want to do them right away when they move in, or they want to do them in a few months, or they want to save up and do some things in the years to come. Now, many of these things aren't just for new construction homes. They could be for resale homes if the resale home doesn't have these things already, these items already. And I typically give this list to my buyers because I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people where I need a checklist. I need to see, oh yeah, I need to do one, and then I go to two, or I need to get all of these things done. It just helps me to have them written down, because the last thing you want, let's say in the middle of the night you hear a chirp, from one of the smoke detectors.
Doug, I can't sleep with that.
Just dream about a truck backing up.
And you forgot to get a supply of batteries. Well, that little chirp is freaking annoying, and it always happens about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And it always happens to be the highest ceiling in the house, where you got to drag out your ladder from the garage, and it's just very inopportune time, right? So I always give this list out so you guys know some things to think about ahead of time. Number one, pest control. You've heard me say it on a million of my videos because you know how I am about critters. Don't like them. You want to set the pest control up pretty quickly after moving in, whether it's new construction or a resale home, because you're going to see things come in the house. Spiders and cockroaches and ants and just, roly-polies, all kinds of really fun things. So you want to make sure you set up your pest control contract with whomever you're going to use. And sometimes I give recommendations. I have a great bug person that I really like using, but there's so many in your area, in your community, but you want to make sure you set that up pretty quickly so that you're not waking up in the middle of the night, crunching something underfoot. Item you may want, number two, gutters. Yep, now I've said it before on other videos that there are a lot of builders that do not give your home gutters around the perimeter. A few of them are offering it now, but it's just still not many. I would make sure that you watch the weather patterns of your home. We're in our rainy season right now during the summer, and the rain is really, really hard. So you don't want all of that water going to the foundation of your home, sitting around the foundation of your home. So I really recommend that you at least talk to some companies that provide gutters. And costs are going to vary from company to company. I think we ended up paying maybe $1,300 to have gutters put around the perimeter of our home, but that was probably 5 years ago. So make sure you check with your neighbors. Maybe they've used someone that they could recommend to you, or go on any of the Facebook community pages or even Nextdoor platform and find out who people have used what the going rate is, and then have a few people come out and give you quotes for gutters, because I think you're going to be happy in the long run if you keep that water away from the foundation of your home. Item you may want, number 3, a lanai screen enclosure. Well, let's think about this for a minute. If you're buying a resale home and they already have an enclosed screen around the lanai, woohoo, good for you. You can enjoy it from day one. But if you're buying new construction, or maybe it's a home where no one has ever put a screen enclosure on the lanai, you are not going to enjoy that lanai without a screen enclosure. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right, because listen, the mosquitoes out here are crazy. It's Florida. What do you expect? So you might want to have someone come out and give you a cost, an estimate for enclosing any area that you have for a lanai. That's what people move to Florida to enjoy, right? The outdoor living, going outside, having a cup of coffee, having your quiet time, maybe having a glass of wine and watching the sunset in the evening. You definitely want to make sure you have a screen enclosure. Thing to consider, number 4, paver and driveway sealing. Many of the builders do not seal the concrete. They do not seal pavers if that's the kind of driveway and walkway that you have. So it's always a good idea to make sure you get that done. Why? Well, because you know, like I do, sometimes cars leak oil, and concrete and pavers are very porous. They're gonna suck in that oil and cause a stain. You could stain it with, paint if you're painting something outside. All of that's gonna get into those porous areas and just cause really bad stains. So I always recommend to my buyers that they either have someone come out and give them an estimate for sealing all of that, or just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace or wherever, buy yourself some sealant, seal your driveway, seal your pavers, your walkway. It's gonna help you in the long run. Thing to consider, number 5, blinds and or curtains. Now, yes, blinds can be very expensive, and it depends on what you like, how many you need, how big your windows are, etc. And if you're moving into a resale home, maybe they already have something, and you don't have to worry about it, but maybe they have something you don't like also. So I would say maybe start getting prices for blinds that you like. There's so many choices and options right now. But having your windows covered, well, that just gives you a peace of mind. So, when you run around naked or whatever it is you do, you crazy people, you don't have people looking in your windows. Again, you can have someone come out and bring samples of what they sell, what they offer. There are remote controlled blinds, there are woven wood, there are louvered shutters, there's faux wood. There's so many choices now, Roman shades, that sort of thing in blinds. So have someone come out and give you prices. There's also places like Lowe's and Home Depot that offer. Typically though, it's hard to get the custom fit that you want, but you can check that out as well. I did online blinds, a place called justblinds.com, and I did my own measurements because that's something I've done before for other clients, and we sent our measurements in and we had them custom made. Now, as far as curtains are concerned, of course, that's a preference. They can be a little costly. You can get custom made curtains, and sometimes you can find really good curtains at retail stores like Marshall's or Tuesday Morning or Home Goods. Yeah, we have a new Home Goods in Parrish, aren't we fancy?
Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night.
Now, my pet peeve about retail curtains is that typically they'll have curtains that are still 84 inches long. Like most houses now have higher ceilings. Nobody wants 8-foot ceilings anymore, right? So it's kind of hard sometimes to find panels that are long enough that are going to give you the length you need for the higher ceilings. So check out 96-inch long or even 110-inch long panels, because it's easier to take fabric away than to add fabric, right? And I have great resources for panel curtains. If you want to know, there's a great place online called Half Price Drapes. I believe that's what it's called. And they have really good deals. And thing to consider, number 6, epoxy garage floor ceiling. Now, yes, we already talked about your driveway and your walkways and your patios being sealed. But now we're going to talk about your garage floor being sealed. Again, it's the same reason. Your car is going to leak stuff from time to time, and you don't want that concrete floor in your garage. Most home stores, home building stores like Home Depot and Lowe's and Ace, they're going to offer products where you can do it yourself and they'll come out really well if that's your thing. Personally, I'd rather pay someone to do it because I don't have the time or the patience to wait for it, and I know I'd probably accidentally step in places that ain't cool.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
I will say that once you put some sort of sealer, especially epoxy sealer, on your garage floor, it can become really slippery. So when it's wet and your car has brought water in, or you've got water on the bottom of your shoes from walking around in the rain or whatever, please be careful that you don't slip on those slippery epoxy garage floors. Item to consider number 7, a fence. Now, fencing might be something that you need right away. Maybe you've got kids you want to make sure stay in the yard. Maybe you want to make sure you keep other kids out of your yard. Or maybe you have pets or something that you want to make sure are protected by being in a fenced-in area. So if you're finding a new construction home or a home that doesn't have a fence yet, that might be something you want to do right away. Be sure to check with your HOA if you are in a homeowners association to find out what fences are allowed and what fences are not allowed. For example, in my community, if you live on a water view lot like we do, you're allowed to have the iron rail fencing so that you can still see through. You're not allowed to have any privacy fencing. Now, on other lots that are not on water, they're allowed to have the 6-foot privacy fencing. So make sure you check your rules and regulations of your HOA before you put a fence in. The other thing you want to make sure you do when you're getting a fence is to make sure you have a current survey so they know where to put that fence. Believe me, I've sold houses before where people had it approved by their HOA, like in writing. We had a letter from the HOA stating that the fence they put in was approved, but then when we went to sell it, the title company found from the survey that part of the fence encroached in the easement that belonged to the HOA. What do you do then?
You gotta be kidding me. Are you kidding me?
I mean, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, in our case, thank God we had a letter from the HOA. It really was on them. They should have paid more attention to it. And they were able to bring the fence construction company out and move the fence a little to be out of that easement. So you want to have a current survey when you're adding a fence on your Florida home. Thing to consider number 8, a closet organization system. A closet organization system might not be something that you've budgeted for right away, but it's something to think about for the future. And you're going to get all kinds of flyers in the mail when people know that you're a new homeowner, whether it's resale or new construction, and they're going to offer you services for some sort of closet or pantry organization. Items to consider number 9.
Number 9.
Interior lighting fixtures. Now, many builders don't put really nice lighting fixtures in their homes. And there's a lot of reason for that. They know that people have their own taste when it comes to lighting fixtures, and they want you to be able to go out and choose your own. And you can find really nice lighting fixtures online. You can find them at Home Goods. You can find them at Home Depot or Lowe's. There are certain kind of chandeliers and lighting, but that's something for you to consider, especially if you want to add value to your home. Item to consider number 10, landscape lighting. Yeah, so landscape lighting really adds a beautiful look to your home at night when people are driving through the community. And if you are too, you'll notice the homes that have really nice highlights on certain trees, on the palm trees, on the house itself, maybe on their pool. So landscape lighting is a great thing to consider. And again, it might not be something you do right away, but it's something that you could save for because it really adds a special curb appeal and a certain look to your home. Item to consider number 11, surge protection. Now, I've talked about surge protection before. It is something that your electric company, whether it's Florida Power and Light or maybe Peace River, They'll offer you their own surge protection you can put on the house. There's probably a certain charge for the protector itself that they put on your main panel. And then you pay a monthly fee, or you can just buy a good surge protector yourself and put it in your own panel. Just make sure you know what you're doing, or hire an electrician who's a professional to do it for you. We don't want anybody getting electrocuted. So something that you should consider. Now, again, like I said, this is our rainy month and we get some wicked, wicked lightning here in Florida. And we've already lost a few things. As a matter of fact, a few weeks ago, it's the month of June right now. A few weeks ago, we had such bad lightning that it just blew, wouldn't you know, our TV in our family room. Well, my husband, was he in tears? Absolutely not, because he'd been wanting a 75-inch TV above the 55-inch TV. Yeah, so I think he kind of planned that one.
Coincidence? I think not!
So even though you have surge protection, it doesn't mean that something might get messed up. But it's going to actually protect all of the other things you have in your home connected to power. Then you may want to consider number 12, interior painting. Well, of course, if you're buying a resale home and you walk in and you just don't like the paint at all, I would assume that you're gonna want to, paint sometime, whether you hire someone to do it or you're doing it yourself. But if you're buying a new construction home, even if it was a paint color that you were able to get in early enough to choose yourself, remember that paint that's used by the builders, it's flat paint. It is not washable. It's gonna come off. It's gonna scuff. It's gonna look bad. So you might wanna consider maybe an eggshell or a semi-gloss to put in your home so that it protects your walls and it lasts a lot longer. Item to consider number 13, a water softening system or a water filtration system. Now, it's not something that we did when we moved in our new home because we used the filter for water on our refrigerator, but a lot of people do put either a softener and or filter system in their house just because they have concerns about what the water is and how it tastes and that sort of thing. And believe me, you are going to be inundated with people ringing your door wanting to sell you a water softener or a filtration system. And if that's your thing, absolutely listen to them, let them do their chemical little test with you. But that's something you might want to consider after moving in, whether it's resale or new construction as well. Item to consider number 14, an outdoor kitchen. This is something that most of my buyers are looking for. Why? Because they're moving from other states where they don't get to enjoy the outdoors very long in their season. They want to enjoy it in Florida. That's why they're moving here. They want an outdoor kitchen. So outdoor kitchens can range from just having a built-in grill to having maybe a sink, having a refrigerator, whatever it is you want outside in your outdoor kitchen. If you're buying new construction, many of the homes will either come with a pre-plumb and a pre-wire for a dedicated outlet and for a sink, so you can put your own outdoor kitchen in. And some of them already come with them. Of course, if you're buying resale, many homes already have an outdoor kitchen. Might be something you like, might not be something that you like, but it's something to consider if that's what you're looking for when you move to Florida. I will tell you, we are people that love to grill. We love to grill.
Sparkler dogs. God bless America.
I have to consider number 15, a pool. Well, of course, pool houses in Florida actually sell more quickly and for a little more money, than homes that don't have a pool. Why? Because that's an image people have when they move to Florida. They want a home with a pool. Now, many builders stopped adding pools or offering pool packages after COVID and during COVID. So there aren't many builders now that offer a pool package when they build a house. And you would have to have started that home from dirt, not if it's an inventory house. They're not going to put a pool in for an inventory house that's already almost done. Yes, like I said, pools are a big selling feature here in Florida houses, especially in Manatee and Sarasota County. Now, when we moved in 2014, we had a pool. with the construction of our home, and we love our pool. That's where we spend whatever little amount of time that we have. You can find us out there floating around in that pool. And the builders that do offer pool packages right now, if you want to know who they are, please give me a call or leave me a message or type it in there. I'll be happy to share who those builders are that are offering pool packages. And each builder has their own prices set for pool packages. They're typically starting about the mid 80,000, and they can go up from there to 140, 150, depending on the bells and whistles that you want to add. Item number 16 to consider when you're moving in a new home in Florida: solar power. Whether you're into solar power or you're not into solar power, it's a big thing in Florida because we have a lot of sun, and it can help reduce your monthly power bills. When you're driving around communities in Florida, you're going to notice some houses that have solar panels. Some have more, some have less. Some only get solar panels to heat their pool. Others have solar panels for their entire house, including a pool, if they have a pool. Item to consider number 17, electric car charging. Now, I guess I'm going to go out kicking and screaming because I like my gas-powered car, but I think it is the move of the future as we go closer to trying to clean out the carbons in the air and be more green in this earth. So it's something to think about if you want to have an electric car charger at your home. Thing to consider number 18, a handy person. So what good does it do you if you buy all of these new ceiling fans and light fixtures for your home, or you buy paint or whatever, and you don't have someone to help you do it? Now, if you're a DIYer and you can do it all yourself, woohoo, good for you. But a lot of us need help. So it's always good to have the name of a really good handyman or handy woman to come in and help you with those items in your home, because right when you move in, trying to put up the blinds, putting up the curtains, getting all of the stuff organized in your home, you might need someone that has a little more expertise to help you along with those items.
So, what do you think so far?
Oh my God!
So I hope I've given you a few things to consider when you're moving in either a new construction home or a resale home in your new home in Florida, because these are things you don't want to forget along the way. And if you have other things that you thought about that I did not, I would love to hear them so I can share them with other people. Don't worry if you're working with me and I'm helping you find a home for sale, whether it's new construction or resale. I'm going to give you this list anyway, so you never forget all of the things to consider when you move in a new home. I'd love to chat with you if you're thinking about moving to these areas, these counties on the Gulf Coast of Florida. I'd love to help you find something that fits your lifestyle and your budget and your needs and wants as well. I'm always so grateful when I hear from you guys call on a weekly basis and say, hey, we're thinking about coming down there. We'd love to check out your areas there and love for you to drive us around and show us what's available. And that is such a blessing. I really appreciate that. So make sure you're also joining this YouTube channel, subscribe to it, so you can be the ones that's always getting this information to help you think of things that maybe you haven't thought of before about the markets here in Sarasota and Manatee County. I'll be back next week with another video to share with you, so I'll see you then.